The daughter-in-law instantly saw through her mother-in-law's act. She knew the old woman was faking her illness on purpose, but instead of exposing her, she decided to play along, and sent her straight to the hospital, because she already knew that her mother-in-law and husband had bribed the doctor. They were using this fake illness to stall her, so her husband could spend time with his first love. However, the woman who knew the truth wasn't angry at all. Instead, she calmly stayed by the old woman's side, because she clearly remembered that in just 30 seconds, the fake illness would turn real. As soon as the countdown ended, the mother-in-law suddenly coughed up a mouthful of blood, then collapsed onto the bed, losing consciousness. Seeing that her plan had worked, the woman immediately pretended to panic, and ran outside to call the doctor. But when the doctor saw the situation, he was completely dumbfounded. This was supposed to be a fake illness. How did it turn real? Panicking, he quickly told the woman to contact her husband, but little did he know, they had already fallen into her trap, because her husband would assume that his mother was just acting as planned, so there was no way he would come back. The woman then deliberately put the phone on speaker, and placed it next to her mother-in-law's ear. She wanted the old woman to die in pain and despair, and she wanted her cheating husband to regret it for the rest of his life. Just as she expected, when her husband saw the call, he couldn't even be bothered to answer. It wasn't until his first love convinced him that he reluctantly picked up, and casually lied, saying he was busy, and not to disturb him. Seeing that the man refused to come back, the doctor was scared out of his mind. He was the one who faked the old woman's medical records. If this got exposed, his whole career would be over. So he quickly grabbed the phone, and urged the man to return and sign the papers. But to his shock, the husband thought the doctor was just playing along, and even reassured him that once the plan was complete, he would be rewarded with a huge sum of money. Then he hung up without hesitation, with no one to sign the consent forms. The doctor had no choice but to push the old woman into the emergency room, and told the woman to keep trying to contact her husband. But at that moment, her husband blocked her number. Meanwhile, the mother-in-law was on the verge of death. Taking this opportunity, the woman grabbed the old woman's hand, and pressed her fingerprint onto the property transfer agreement. Just like that, the mother-in-law took her last breath in utter despair. But the woman felt no guilt at all, because in her past life, this mother and son had used the exact same scheme. Not only did they steal all her wealth, but they also brutally murdered her. Now that she had been reborn, she would make them pay for their crimes in blood. Seeing that the old woman had stopped breathing, she used her phone to send a message to her husband, then pretended to be devastated, and went to the doctor to gain his sympathy. The doctor was already scared out of his wits. Seeing the old woman dead, he immediately wanted to slip away while no one was looking. But just as he turned to leave, the woman suddenly called out to him, and told him that she would be holding a funeral for her mother-in-law in 3 days. As her husband's close friend, she hoped he would attend. Hearing this, the doctor wanted to refuse, but the woman stared straight at him, and asked if he had something to hide. Hearing her words, the doctor immediately panicked, and quickly agreed to show up on time in 3 days. Meanwhile, the husband had just confessed to his first love, and was planning to celebrate with fireworks and firecrackers.
The girl hid quietly under the desk, hoping to catch her CEO husband in the act of betrayal. However, what she overheard was the assistant confessing her feelings to the CEO. The CEO grabbed the assistant's wrist and warned her that if she brought it up again, she would be fired. He then pushed her away. Relieved, the girl under the desk accidentally bumped into the furniture. The CEO noticed the movement under the desk. He quietly dropped a pen and, while picking it up, discovered the girl hiding there. The girl quickly signaled him not to alert the assistant, but the CEO reached out his hand, trying to tease her. The girl warned him firmly, forcing him to straighten up. To get back at him, the girl secretly pinched the CEO's thigh. He had no choice but to endure the pain while continuing his conversation with the assistant. The rejected assistant still refused to give up. Since the girl had kept her identity hidden, the assistant didn't know she was the CEO's wife. She even began insulting the girl, speaking ill of her repeatedly. Then she went further by sitting close to the CEO and hooking her leg around his. This was the last straw for the girl. She slowly rose from under the desk. The assistant was utterly shocked. She thought she had already gotten the girl fired. Without hesitation, the girl grabbed the CEO by the collar and kissed him passionately, declaring war on the assistant. Furious, the assistant pushed the girl away and slapped her across the face. Unfazed, the girl calmly told the assistant that she would pay the price. Then she confidently walked out of the office. After the girl left, the assistant tried to badmouth her to the CEO, but the CEO coldly fired her on the spot and ordered her to get out. Humiliated and angry, the assistant had no choice but to leave. Meanwhile, the girl was waiting for her downstairs. The assistant rushed at her, ready to vent her rage. But in an instant, the girl slapped her across the face, stating that the first slap was punishment for the assistant's earlier insults. Then she delivered a second slap, making it clear that it was retribution for the physical strike the assistant had just given her. The girl warned the assistant that if she ever saw her again, the consequences would be far worse than just 2 slaps.